Hello guys, Robot1 here, and today I am doing the Future of Yu-Gi-Oh! On my channel, and it's been a while since I've done this segment, but anyway, let's get into this. For you guys who, first of all though, for you guys who don't know what the Future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, the Future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a segment on my channel where I talk about cards that I think are interesting or really good that are coming up later on in the game, and these cards that have just been announced, like last week. I haven't talked about them that purely because I haven't had the time, but yeah, like these are new Magician Pendulum cards, and like the new Magician Pendulum support, oh my god, it's so good, and I just really wanted to talk about this stuff. It's like really cool. So like we've got new Time Gazer, new Space Gazer, whatever it is, but yeah, like it's so good to see that they're making more Magician support, seeing as they've taken away two of our Pendulum calls and two of our Wisdom Eyes. It's just really cool to see them doing it. Who knows, maybe because of this they'll bring maybe Wisdom Eye back to 2 or Pendulum Call back to 2. Just make Magicians a little more competitive again, because it's a deck that I really did enjoy, and I just really want to see come back. But anyway, I'm just rambling now, so let's get into this. So the first card was with thanks Pegasus J Crawford for having this stuff on your page and updated, so I could actually do the video. But yeah, so Astrograph Magician, Dark Spellcaster Pendulum Effect, level 7, 2500 attack, 2000 defense, scale 1. Pendulum Effect. You can only use the Pendulum Effect of Astrograph Magician once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place one Time Gazer Magician from your hand or deck in your Pendulum Zone. So essentially, this is an effect that allows you to do a Wisdom Eye, but just for a Time Gazer. But yeah, it's an okay effect. I wouldn't use that at all probably, but let's see what its monster effect is. If a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so we got some additional special summoning each turn. That's pretty cool. Works with Wisdom Eye. Then you can add one monster from your deck to your hand, whose name is the same as the monster that was destroyed this turn. The only problem with this is, like, it works with Pendulum monsters, but we only have one Wisdom Eye, guys, so it's kinda irrelevant, I guess, but the special summoning's pretty nice, so yeah, it's okay, but it's like, one Wisdom Eye is like the only card that we have that does a lot of destroying itself, but it's fine. Let's carry on and see what other effect is. Next effect, you can banish this card you control, then banish one Pendulum monster, one Pendulum Dragon, one Xyz Dragon, one Synchro Dragon, and one Fusion Dragon monster from your hand, field, and or graveyard. Special summon one Hyoru Zark from your extra deck. This special summon is treated as a fusion summon. So basically, this second effect is I get to summon Zark, which is pretty cool. I feel like, seeing as we don't know what Zark is yet, this effect is kind of pointless right now. But once we find that Zark is what Zark is, it'll be pretty cool to see. And saying that it needs a Pendulum Dragon, an Xyz Dragon, a Synchro Dragon, all that, obviously means there's going to be some kind of fusion-based monster. So because the fusion is treated as a fusion summon, so it should be a pretty good card. Okay. So that's Astrograph Magician. It's a pretty cool card. Not the best, but it's a pretty cool card nonetheless. Next card is, come on, Chronograph Magician. So this is obviously, looks like the Time Gazer variant, which is personally my favorite, my better of the two, because it stops trap cards from being activated, so no mirror forces. But yeah, so this is a Dark Spellcaster effect, Pendulum, 2000 attack, 1700 defense, level 6. I don't like that about it. if it was a level 2, like, no, not level 2, a level 7, I'd like it more because it would be better for the deck, but let's get into it. So it's a scale 8, obviously, as you can see here. That means it's the high scale, just like their younger attributes. Its pendulum effect is, you can only use the pendulum effect of Chronograph Magician once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place one Time Gazer Magician from your hand or deck in your Pendulum zone. Okay, so basically the same thing as the Space Gazer. Okay, the Stargazer. Its monster effect is if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then special summon one monster from your hand. Okay, so that's another interesting thing. It's like additional special summons galore. Like, personally, I wouldn't use this per se because it doesn't seem very reliable. But it's interesting to see it. But yeah, it's not a terrible thing. It's interesting it's very interesting. But it's not something I'll probably use. Its next effect is you can banish this card, then banish one dragon. Okay, so this is basically the same as Astrograph Magician, where you can banish one Pendulum Fusion Synchro Xyz to summon Zark. So yeah, this is obviously the weaker of the two because it's a level 6, meaning it doesn't have synergy with like Odd Eyes and stuff. It only special summons from one from hand. It doesn't search, but like it may be a one-off if you're playing Time Gazer, I guess. But personally, I don't think this is one of the better ones, in my personal opinion. But yeah, that's Chronograph Magician. Not the best, but not the worst. Next is Iris Magician. Okay, so this is we're getting onto the ones that are really good now. So Iris Magician is a dark spellcaster pendulum effect, level 4, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. Scale 8. Pendulum effect. Once per turn, you can target one dark spellcaster monster you control. For the rest of this turn, double any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent if it battles a monster. Then destroy this card. Okay, the reason this is good is like almost all the monsters you're playing are dark spellcasters. Like all the new ones. So like you could target a Joker with this, you could target any of the others, you could target itself as well, which is pretty good. And that's just really good seeing because of it. So you're essentially getting additional damage in. Also, the fact that it's a scale 8 on that fact is really good as well because the deck really did need more scale 8s. It really had a lot of low level scales. So that's really good. Its monster effect is this card is always treated as a Pendulum Dragon. So basically all these other level 4s are going to have the same thing where they're treated as something else. As you can tell, the artwork looks very similar to Odd Eyes. Sorry. Looks very similar to Odd Eyes. That's because I believe that all of the human-based ones are based off of the Odd Eyes, Dark Rebellion, Clearwing, and Star Venom. But yeah, so you'll be able to tell from the artworks and the artworks all look very nice, which I really do like. So yeah. So its effect is if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add one Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand. So essentially, this is I die whenever I get a free card. So like the Pendulum Graph is really good. Just ignore this. It's my mate sending me a message. I'll message him back in a bit. You can add one Pendulum Graph. So basically, the Pendulum Graph card, which we're going to talk about later, is actually really good. Now, there's only one Pendulum Graph card so far. So that probably means that we're going to be getting more Pendulum Graph cards because it does say Pendulum Graph card. So we'll probably be getting more Pendulum Graph cards to go along with this, which I can't wait to see what we get because like I generally just love this archetype and well these new cards and they're just so good to see. So Iris Magician just being at a scale 8, level 4. Oh, and also this thing can work off. You can activate this effect of Sky Iris. You can even if it's in the scale. So You can activate it off Sky Iris. You can activate it off Sorcerer killing it. So you can use all sorts of methods to kill it just to get a free +1. And, well, +2, because if you like you're getting a search off the actual field spell, then you're getting a search off this, and because it's Pendulum monster, you're not really losing anything. So it's a free +2 just for popping this one card. Like, it's just so good. So, yeah. So that's Iris Magician. It's just a very good card in general, in my opinion, and I really do like it. So the next one is Black Fang Magician, which is obviously the counterpart to Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. So it is a dark spellcaster, the same, with a level 4, 700 attack, 800 defense. Another scale 8, which is very good. Its pendulum effect is once per turn you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. That monster's attack becomes half its current attack until the end of this turn. Then destroy this card. So the good thing about this is, if you summon Odd Ice Pendulum Dragon, you can get in a ton of damage. So, say their monster has, say, a 2000 attack. With this effect, you're going to be able to get in 3k with just Odd Ice Pendulum Dragon. And that, in general, is just very good. So, that effect in its own right is very, very good. So, yeah, that's its Pendulum effect. Its monster effect is, this card is always treated as an Xyz Dragon. Same as the other one is treated as a pendulum. Oh, and another thing. If you can somehow manage to get this to level 8 and under a Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Not a Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, a Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Yeah, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Did I say Dark Rebellion? Yeah, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Then you can this is technically the Xyz material that the Xyz monster underneath it, so that's a really good thing. So if you can actually manage to do that, that works. So yeah, its effect is, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one dark spellcaster monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So the reason this is good is because with the stuff like Dragon Pit and Dragon Pulse, you're discarding pendulum cards quite a lot. So if by using effects like this, you can just recycle them and just get them back. So you discard a Skullcrow Joker, you can special summon it back. Obviously you wouldn't, but it's just a case. You discard an Iris Magician, like we just showed you, you can special summon it back. So like if this dies, you just get a 3+, and that's actually really decent. So yeah, just 3+ galore. But yeah, this is another good one in my opinion. It's obviously like one of the best. It's like these are the good ones. Like these are really good Magician support, and I really do like it. It also gives us more rank 4 access to the deck, which we really didn't have before. Next is White Wing Magician. And this is one of the best ones in the deck, to be honest, because it's like, you'll see in a second. Wind Spellcaster, so it's the only non-dark one. Pendulum, Tuna Monster. This is why it's the best. Like, being a Tuna Monster, man. Just this one word, Tuna Monster. It allows us to do our synchro plays. You can make Omega in this deck now, and it's just so good for that fact, so... Yeah, it's a Tuna Monster that makes Omega. Its effect is... It's an effect monster. Level 4, 600 attack, 1400 defense. Pendulum, scale 1. Its Pendulum effect is... Once per turn, when a card effect that targets a dark spellcaster type monster you control resolves, you can negate that effect, then destroy this card. So essentially this says, your opponent targets Skullcrow Joker, you can negate it. So that's a good effect. I haven't used it yet, but it's somewhat relevant. But obviously you're going to want to use it as a tuner. So its monster effect is, this card is always treated as a Synchro Dragon as the others, and if this Pendulum Summon card is used for a Synchro Summon, banish it. Now that's the only bad thing about this card. Like it banishes itself, but to get around that, I just use Oath Dragon Magician, and Oath Dragon will add it back to hand, then I can normal summon it, so that gets around that problem, so I can just keep reusing it. So yeah, That's one of the good things. Plus, if I banish it with Omega, I can just put it back in the grave and then get it back with Oath Dragon later. So that's really good. It's next to yeah. So this is a decent card. Like, I wish it was another high scale, but it doesn't really need to be. So yeah, it's fine. The next one is, which is probably one of the worst ones, but it's still pretty good for its effect. Like, this has gotten me over a Dark Claw through testing, so yeah, that's pretty good. Violet Poison Magician. So this is the Star Venom version, as you can see. The artwork's pretty nice. Dark Spellcaster Pendulum. Level 4, 1200 attack, and 2100 defense. So this is the big butt of them all. Its Pendulum scale is 1. Its Pendulum effect is, once per turn before damage calculation, when a Dark Spellcaster monster you control battles, you can activate this effect. That monster gains 1200 attack until the end of the damage step. Then destroy this card. So that effect is essentially, oh, I'm battling with a Skullcrowbat Joker into your monster. I destroy this card. My Skullcrowbat Joker has now 3k, and your monster will die. So yeah, that's essentially what that is. Its monster effect is, this card is always treated as a fusion dragon. So yeah, now we're done with all those effects. Its actual effect is, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one face-up card on the field, just one face-up card, destroy it. So you just straight up destroy any face-up card you want. So you want to destroy a Dark Claw, you destroy a Dark Claw. You destroy a you want to destroy a Skyrush, you destroy a Skyrush. You want to destroy a Pendulum, you destroy a Pendulum. You want to destroy a Fusion, destroy a Fusion. Like, you destroy any face-up card. So oh, my throat's really dry right now. And no water around me, great. But none of this. This card is a decent card. It's probably the worst out of the 4 level 4s, but it's a pretty good card. It's a decent card. It's a decent card, but like it works in the deck, and it's a 2 of, in my opinion. So yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not good at the same time. And for the last card we're going to be talking about on this tab, then we're going for the last card we're talking about. So this card is Pendulum Graph of Ages, and it's searchable by Iris Magician. Its effect, it's a continuous spell card, and its effect is, you can only use the 2 effect of Pendulum Graph once per turn. Spellcaster type monsters you control cannot be targeted via your opponent's spell effects. So that effect in its own is just like pretty good. So it means your opponent can't be like, I'm going to what spells actually target nowadays? Wow, that's actually a tough one. What spell cards target nowadays? Well, I don't know. But yeah, I suppose it has it. Wait. Yeah. So that effect's kind of irrelevant, to be honest, actually. Well, I guess if your opponent's targeting me with a Pendulum card, that stops it, so yeah, that's okay. But this effect ain't that great, to be honest. Like, I don't think this effect has ever even come up relevant when I was testing the deck, so like, I'm working on a build right now, guys, so you may see a deck profile for it soon, you may not. You may see testing soon. You will definitely see some testing, but like, this effect has never came in relevant. So yeah, because it's monsters. But yeah, its actual good effect is, if a face-up Magician Pendulum monster leaves your field, leaves your monster zone or Pendulum zone, you can add 1 Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Now, the reason this effect is good is because, like, you kill your Wisdom Eye, you get a 3+. You kill something with Skyros, you get a 3+. Like, one of your monsters leaves the field, you get a 3+. Like, this card is just, you get pluses no matter what you do. I don't care, I'm gonna get a plus. So, like, this effect is probably one of the better effects. Like, personally, this probably brings back the whole deck. Without this card, it wouldn't be that great. Still would prefer to have Pendulum call back to 2 or 3 Konami, but This effect is pretty decent. It's not terrible, but it's okay. So this effect is literally the whole reason why the deck can come back, in my opinion. Like, this card has actually won me quite a few games in testing, so... And plus, just it being searchable with Iris Magician just makes it even better, so... Yeah. So that's the last card on this tab. What else is there? Yeah, there's the image of Zark there, if you were interested in what Zark would look like, but that's not what we're talking about. We'll be talking about that when it comes out. But yeah, the last card we're talking about is Startime Magician. Now, Startime Magician is obviously an Xyz monster, as you can see. It is a Dark Spellcaster Xyz effect monster, rank 4, 2400 attack, 1200 defense. Now, this is not a generic Xyz monster, sadly, but it requires 2 level 4 Magician Pendulum monsters to make. So it only works in the Magician deck, which is pretty cool. Like, we haven't had anything like this before in the game, so... Well, obviously we've obviously had non-generic monsters, but what I mean is by its effect, which I'll read out to you now. Must first be Xyz summoned with the above Xyz materials. Once per turn, you can use 1 Xyz material from this card, add 1 Dark Spellcaster type monster to your hand. From your deck or graveyard, or that it is or that is a face-up monster in your extra deck. Now, why is this good? Well, this card can search stuff like Chronograph Magician. It can search stuff like any of your magicians in your main deck. It can search Exodia pieces. Obviously, you wouldn't search Exodia pieces, but like this effect is literally it's such a good effect. Just being able to search any Dark Spellcaster in your entire deck. Stop getting notifications, you piece of crap. But yeah, just being able to search any Dark Spellcaster in the deck really does help. Just being able to search out that Chronograph Magician to get to that Wisdom Eye. Just being able to search out any of your Scales. Just being able to recycle from the graveyard. It really does help, and I really do love how they actually made a card like this. Plus, I love the artwork, having it being mixed with Stargazer and Timegazer. It's got Timegazer's dual disc and Stargazer's staff, so... Just in that really does make me love it. And its next effect is, once per turn, if a Pendulum monster in your monster zone or Pendulum zone would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send 1 Spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. So this is another decent effect, because it's like, oh, my Pendulum monster in my Pendulum zone, or my Pendulum card, or my Pendulum monster in my monster zone would be destroyed. This automatically protects it. Now it doesn't have S on it. Now I don't know if it's the actual translation because I haven't looked it up, but like because this doesn't have an S on it, I'm going to assume that it can only protect 1 monster at a time, which isn't the best, but it's still pretty good. So this card in general is a very good card in my opinion, but yeah, what I want to know is, now that it's this is the last card we were talking about, I want to know what your guys' opinion is. Do you think these cards are really good? Would you play these cards in your Magician deck? Would you play these cards in your Pendulum deck? Would you mix in some Performer Pals, some Odd Eyes? What would you do? Because personally, I think this deck is a very good deck. I really do love it, and I'm testing it as I want. Just like trying to figure out what the best build is. I've tried out the Odd Eyes variant. I've tried out the Performer Pal variant. I'm kind of moving more to the Odd Eyes variant right now. But yeah, guys, what is your opinion on these cards? Do you like these cards? Do you think these cards are good? Tell me in the comment section below. And as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.